Hello everyone and welcome to Ashley Plans and Saves. I'm Ashley and today I'm going to share with you part 3 of my college and grad school debt-free journey mini-series, I guess you could say. And in this video I'm going to share how I worked, planned, and saved my way through grad school so that I could end up debt-free by graduation. Now, big spoiler alert, the real reason that I was able to do this debt-free, the reason I was able to cash flow my way through grad school and even cash flow my way through moving out towards the end of 2017 was I lived at home for 2 years. So when I left college in December of 2015, I stayed at home until December of 2017 and I didn't have to pay rent. My parents were gracious enough to let me just live there. I paid for most of my own food, my own expenses, but I didn't really have any bills due until like one part of where I was living or when I was living there. So that's pretty much the reason. In this video, I'm going to show you my income tracker slash budgeting spreadsheets that I kept for every semester and every school year. And then I also show you at the very end a nice overview of what I was billed for each semester at school, including money that was removed from scholarships, things like that. And then what my savings account looked like over the course of each semester as I made payments to school and as I saved money. So if you're interested in catching this video where you follow me through those 2 years of grad school, please continue watching. If you're enjoying the video as you're watching, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you want to continue following me my journey to plan and save my way through, the rest of 2019 basically. All right, so in 2016, I had started the year with an assistant teacher position at a school very close to where I lived. It was about a 15-minute walk, so I just walked there and back every single day, saved some money on transportation, and it was salaried, so I earned $46,000 a year. So typically I brought back $1,100 to $1,300 home each time. I think I played around with like my benefits, money I was putting into my IRA, my 401k and things like that. So it varied a little bit, but typically it was about the same. And I tried to keep track of like a budget and money I was spending, similar to what I did in 2015 for my summer job. If you saw that in part 2, I have the same categories here of just just like bills, transportation, and food. I didn't necessarily check in with my budget as much as I should have. So even though I earned $14,000 and I was planning to save, or I should have saved theoretically $12,600, I didn't actually save that much. But I did my best. Here is an interesting little thing that I, for some reason, got myself into. The professor that I worked with in the summer of 2015 asked me to continue working with her on the research paper that we did not finish. So nearly every single weekend in the spring of 2016, I was actually traveling back from New York City to Pennsylvania to go back to my college to continue working on the project. So I would leave typically when I was into the flow of working, because I didn't start this job until early February, and then I got paid for 3 weeks of work, and then I did go a bit more in January back to college. But typically I would leave Saturdays at 5 a.m. or 5:30, get to campus around 10 or 10:30, and I would take the mega bus. So my boss allowed me not only to include the hours that I spent traveling, but also just the hours that I worked when I was on campus. So I would typically put in about 8 to 10 hours of travel time, because that would, one, just pay for my time, because I really couldn't do much sitting on a bus in terms of work. I don't know, maybe I could have, but I just didn't. It was also really early in the morning. But so that, and also just to pay for the ticket in New York to get to the megabus station, paying for the railroad ticket, paying for the railroad ticket in Pennsylvania, and then also just paying for the megabus. So that was what the hours I put in as travel time really paid for. And then it was just my work time that was money I earned from just actually sitting in that office and working. It was nice. I did get to go back every weekend and hang out with my friends. So after I finished working, maybe around 6 or 7 o'clock on Saturdays, we would eat dinner together. We could go out to a party or something if that was happening. And then I would put on a couple more hours in the morning on Sundays, have brunch with my friends, and then head back to New York around 1 o'clock. So I would get home around 6:30 or 7 on Sundays. So it was exhausting. It was nice to have that time with my friends, but yeah, it was very exhausting. Do not recommend doing that. But From that position, I did earn $2,409. Like I said, most of that did go to travel expenses, but I did have a goal of saving $1,000, which I actually did do. So going into the year, I had $6,600 from what I earned in school in 2015. If you want to watch part two, again, that's where that came from. The assistant teacher position, I saved $9,400, and then from that resource position, I did save that $1,000. I didn't save anything from any summer job I had because since I stayed with the school until the end of the school year, I got paid through the summer because I was still salaried. So pretty much these payments were more than enough to coast me through the summer. And by that time, I was like so burnt out. I went to visit my family in Texas and I stayed there for a few weeks, honestly. So that is 2016 in the spring. Now, as much as I enjoyed working at this assistant teacher position and as much as like I was really happy with the pay, it was very far from where my grad school would be. My grad school was in like Harlem in Manhattan or near Harlem in Manhattan, and the school was deep in Queens, very close to Long Island. It took about an hour and 40 minutes or so just to get to my school. So like 40 minutes on the well, 15 minutes to walk to the railroad station in Queens, and then maybe 35 minutes on the railroad to Manhattan, and then another 30 minutes on the train to get to my school. So an hour and 45 minutes on like a good day if I don't miss any trains. And at school they ended at about 4:15, 4:30. So, if I had stayed for another year and they asked me to be a second grade teacher, like a full-time teacher, not just an assistant teacher, if I had done that, there's just no way I would have made it to like my 5 o'clock classes at grad school, which I had those at least once a semester. And it also was just going to be too much work, too much work being in grad school, being a first-time teacher. So I politely declined and explained my situation, and they understood. So I just didn't continue working there. And instead, I found a different position as a classroom assistant. Now, even though those titles sound very similar, they're very different in what you have to do. So in that assistant teacher position, I was co-teaching at some points. I really took on I think it was writing and math is what I really planned for and did those lessons with students. But as a classroom assistant, I was responsible for no lessons. I was just there as support for the teacher, worked with groups of students if she told me who to work with. If she was absent one day, then I would take over the class based on her lesson plans. But basically, I was there from I think it was like 7 to 3:30 or 4, and I didn't have to think about work once I left, which was helpful because in grad school I really wanted to focus in on my work in grad school, not my work as a classroom assistant. But the job, even though it was really tough, that school, lots of behavior is happening there, but it was tough, and I just got through it because it paid pretty well. It was about $18 to $19 an hour, and the net after my transit benefit and taxes, it was about like $16 an hour. So not too shabby for a position that I could clock in, clock out, and not have to worry about again. So I again kept my same sort of ish budget, which miscellaneous was a complete crapshoot because no idea where that money went. Anyway, I earned $10,252. Theoretically, could have saved $8,622, but I actually saved $7,000, which is not too bad, considering what happened up here. I saved, or I for some reason spent about $3,000 doing something, God knows what. Now in the spring, I was still at that same position, same things going on here, but I had picked up consistently paying for my parents' Verizon bill. So that was the phone, internet, and the TV bill. I had been paying it sporadically. That's probably why some random payment there, but it wasn't consistent, and I was happy to take it on because again, I was living there rent free. So that was one bill. In addition, I don't know. I can't even say anything about this quote unquote budget because I really didn't follow it. Because I earned $12,383, theoretically should have saved $10,393, yet I did only save $6,000. So while the fall was a good semester, the spring, not so much. And I think the spring was probably worse because the fall I really kept to myself. I had a full-time course load for grad school, and it killed me. But in the spring, I was only taking 2 classes for most of the spring, and then the some classes were ridiculous, but um, I had more free time, and I started going out with my coworkers, doing happy hour, things like that. So, you know, you know. So that is the spring of 2017. Now, I finished this position. I had about a year of grad school left, and I was ready to just move into a teaching position at this point because I did not want to stay at that school I was currently at. Um, they also did offer me a position to stay, and I was like, no, gracias, because there was a lot going on in that school, and I did not like it. So I was just happy I made it through the year. I did interview for another position at a school, and that's this current position I'm at right now as a teacher slash like librarian, really. I teach some classes, but they're not like, I don't have my own homeroom. I'm the librarian like first, and then I have currently I have kindergarten, second grade. I have all second grades, like every single day I have second grades, twice a day actually. Um, and then I also just have open library periods with the upper grades. So I really like the way my schedule is right now. But anyway, yikes, you don't really want to see this sheet. Oh my god. So this is my fall 2017 to spring 2018 sheet. Yikes. I do my sheets by school year, if you can't tell, because I'm a teacher, so I just think in terms of school years. So in this new position, it was also salaried, a bit of a pay increase. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I also did try to keep track of my bills and expenses with more like precision, I guess, or try to allot more for things, or at least go back at the end of each month and like update things. So like I didn't typically budget $200 for home and miscellaneous, but I would at the end of the month when I paid my credit card bill, because most of my spending happens on my credit card and then I just pay it off at the end of the month. Like these are pretty much my credit card bill totals, more or less. So like for some reason in September I paid off $200 for my credit card, on what I don't know, but it happened. Some of these I do know, like actually no, I don't know. Well, here, when I moved out, I did do a lot of shopping, so like I did vaguely know that $700 is going to money I spend on like Amazon and things like that to purchase things for my new room. But yeah, anyway, anyway, here up here, summer 2017, I did work at my school, my current school's summer camp, and I saved about $2,000 from that position, but I didn't for some reason start off this balance with that $2,000. I don't know why I did. I just started at like zero basically. So, interesting. Um, yeah, so I'm going to go right down here. Or that school year, I earned 40,846 smackaroos. Um, and some of that stuff includes a tax return and also the refund check that I got from my grad school for one semester. I'll mention that in a few minutes. A lot was happening here. And I did reset this savings amount. Like, so this savings is different from my previous savings, where here I'm trying to add what I should save to what was already saved. So here you'll see that. I guess this is a good example. So theoretically, September 21st, I should have had in savings, or by the end of that pay cycle, $674. And for the next paycheck, October 5th, there's about another $500 or so that I should have saved. So when you add that together, I should have $1,180. So it was like adding on to what was already in savings. These are not accurate. I still did not do a very good job of going back in and resetting or like checking in to make sure I had that amount in savings. So these bright blue changes here are where I either went back in towards the end of the year and like reset things, or I literally went back to my savings account statements, and typically at the end of each pay cycle, at the end of each month, I could go in and reset. So at the end of February, I reset it. Oh God. At the end of March, I reset. At the beginning or at the end of at the end of April / the beginning of May, I reset how much I had in savings, because again, these numbers were just not accurate. It said something like $10,000 something here, and I was like, nope, that's not true. So I did go in and make sure, I don't know, something was happening there. But a lot was happening in this semester. The money and the things that pertain to school are like up here in bright red. So I I moved out for some strange reason in November of 2017. So December 1st was my first official month or first official day in the apartment. So you'll see like move-in fees and shopping for things like that. So by the time I was like, oh crap, I have to pay for grad school, I had $900 in savings. And my roommate owed me about $900 that she sporadically gave me within like $150 payments because I paid for both of ours deposit for our apartment. Um, and I did get a refund of about $2,200 from my school in addition to my actual wages. So I was able to make a big payment of $4,900 to my school at the end of the year. I had nearly nothing in savings. I again made a payment when I got paid the next pay cycle of over $1,000. Again, had not much in savings. Um, that was a regular rent payment, and then paying back my roommate $450 because I did borrow $450 from her to like make a payment for something. So that's just that. And then the next payment period is when I paid off $1,200 because I put myself on a payment plan at the end or like the middle of January because I couldn't make the date that things were due. Things were due like by January 20th or something like that. So I put myself on a payment plan of $600 every month or every 2 weeks, I think it was supposed to be. But I just paid it off as quickly as possible. So in February, I paid $1,200. I still had not much in savings. And for some reason, I was still doing ridiculous amounts of spending. I don't know. But finally, February 22nd, I did make another $600 payment. $600 payment. That was my last payment. And after paying rent also that month, I had 120 smackaroos in savings. So, or at least on February 28th, I had that much in savings, which is nothing. But very soon after that, did get a big tax refund. So that really helped me get back up to a good amount by the end of the year, even though I had a couple of unexpected expenses. So yeah, that is how my 2017 to 2018 went, and that's how really I had to dig down deep and live. I can't even say I lived frugally because I don't know what was going on here with all these like miscellaneous things I was spending and putting on my credit card. At least I paid it off. At least I paid it off. I'm happy about that because this in all allowed me to actually be debt free by the time I graduated, which was around here. And I even had some money in my bank account by that point. Amazing. So that is that. And now I do, oh wait, no, crap, it's not that. Down here is two additional sources of income I had. So I worked at a summer job um, sometime down here, or like over this summer. I had a separate summer job that wasn't my school's summer camp. It was some other camp that I taught at, and I made $2,500 from that. And then I supervised I supervised one student in my program, but she was a year below me. And I just had to like read some of her work and give her feedback on like her interactions with students and her lesson planning, things like that. But I earned money for that, and I earned 915 smackaroos. Whew. And I don't, for some reason, I don't count for it in here. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually go into anything that happened here because I didn't get paid for either of those before I started having to pay for all this stuff. So that is that. If you want like a nice little recap of actual spending for grad school, you're gonna love this beautiful chart that I made. It's sad to look at, but it is a nice way to summarize things. Here is my grad school's like cost of money that was billed for school. My God, oh, Jesus Christ. My grad school was $1,512 per credit for the first year, and then $1,572 for the second year. All in all, I had 35 credits. So the total cost billed for just the credits was $53,460. The different fees I had to pay for either like class fees and just general student fees was $2,795, meaning altogether this was $56,255. Thank goodness gracious, I did actually get some scholarships. Some of these were like minority scholarships, some of these were department scholarships. But for my first year, I got $15,120 in scholarships divided between these 2 semesters. No scholarships for the summer, and what I thought was no scholarship for the fall of 2017. But in a beautiful, beautiful like surprise in like late November of 2017. I got notification that I actually did earn a department scholarship. Like they had funds remaining and they decided to disperse it to some students for some good reason. Um, but it was $2,271 per semester. So that was that refund I was talking about that I got in December of 2017. And then, but I did pay out of pocket like the full amount. And then for my spring bill, which again, thank goodness gracious, the scholarship also did get dispersed into my account because don't think I would have been able to do anything with an additional $2,272 due for that bill. But altogether, the net payment is not estimated. I actually did go back to my student account and make sure these numbers were correct. $38,563. Yes. Amazing. Very sad, but alas, here we are. And so here's how the money came and went, more or less. So again, I started in the summer of 2016 with $17,000 saved. My fall bill was $99,370. So theoretically, in September 2016, I had $7,630 left in savings. Over the course of the fall, I saved $7,000, like you saw. In the spring, I had that bill in January for $2,075. So remaining in savings was $12,555. Now, the spring of 2017, I did save that $6,000. And my summer bill for school was $14,046. So in the savings, I had about $4,500 left. Now, like I said, the summer of 2017, I saved about $2,000. And then my fall 2017 bill was $5,317. So about September 2017, I had about $1,200 in savings. Not a lot at all. A lot of stuff happened within September through December. Like you saw, I did move out. I put about $2,700 or $2,750 down for first month's, last month's deposit, and then the application fee for $50. In addition to like spending money to like move in and random spending I can't even account for at this point. But basically, by December 15th, like you saw, I had $900 in my savings account, which clearly not enough to pay for my spring bill. So between December 15th and February 20th, I had like accumulated / saved / paid off $6,945, or like saved that much technically, or brought in that much as income, including that refund for $2,271, including my roommate paying me back the $900, but then I also borrowed $450 from her. Don't know. Whatever. And then I paid that spring bill finally off February like 22nd, I said, I think, for $77.58. So there was only $120 left in my savings just before March of 2018. But hey, that's where the video could end. I did pay off grad school. I was debt-free technically with a very small amount in my checking and savings accounts. But like I did make a comeback, really starting off with that refund check in March. But between March and August of 2018, I did save $8,300 in my checking account, or sorry, in my savings account. So that is how I rebounded from the ridiculousness that was early 2018. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a lot. I was very stressed out for a good few months, but everything did work out. And I am so happy I was starting off with such a good amount already in savings, because actually that itself would have covered my first year, not including summer classes. So that is it. If you enjoyed this walk through the 2 years that I spent in grad school and money that I saved and paid, please give this video a thumbs up. This is the last of my 3-part series about like being debt-free in college and grad school. If you're interested in watching how I transformed my budgeting system from this disastrous mess into something a bit more thoughtful and reflective, then please subscribe to my channel so you can watch my weekly or at least monthly budget update videos. I would really appreciate that. And that's all for now, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.